What weird rules did you have at your school? I had a rule where they'd take your jacket if you were late. That way you had to stay afterwards to get your coat. Problem is, mind you, I'm a kid, the coat pickup would be after the school buses left. So if you did not get your coat, you would be stranded. There was a time I had to leave my coat behind so I didn't miss the bus. Mind you, I had asthma. I still don't know how they could do some shit like that. No reading on the playground. Apparently it makes it difficult for the teachers on recess duty to tell if someone is being excluded or if they are just a loner. Because, God forbid you just ask the kid. Our school had a rule where backpacks had to be clear or mesh, for safety reasons. As if anyone really crammed anything, but books and the occasional crushed PBJ in there. Made for some awkward moments when you had to carry around personal items and everyone got a literal clear view of your inventory. It felt more like a violation of privacy than an actual precaution. High school uniform rules specified that girls had to wear either navy or white bikini-cut panties. As far as I know, this was never enforced, but I always thought it was ridiculous to even have it there. Hoodies got banned because students would sleep during classes while wearing them, which is stupid, cause students just resorted to sleeping anyway. I got around this by wearing sweaters underneath my uniform. Not allowing kids into the school until it's 8 p.m. on the dot. Kids would be waiting at 7:58 a.m. and you weren't allowed in. Saying you were bored was forbidden, and if the headmaster heard you, he had a long speech prepared about all the different school activities that were available. I swear the man had freakishly good hearing. I remember one time walking to class and casually mentioning we were bored, then hearing a distant voice and rapidly approaching footsteps. "You're bored, Mr. Zerby? Let's have a chat about that." If he caught you yawning in class, he taught history, he would tell you to do 10 push-ups, and if you laughed at the person, you would do 10 push-ups too. A few times, we had half a dozen people doing push-ups in the middle of class. In reality, he didn't insist on it, it was a fun way to break up lessons, and you got praised more for effort than anything. You were required to be at school regardless of road conditions, and if your school buses were late, entire buses were given detention for showing up late when the weather was exceptionally poor. This culminated in 3 students dying in car accidents in one day at one school, which did result in an investigation getting launched into the conduct of the superintendent, who was promptly fired for not allowing the schools to close, ignoring the advice of the state DOT, and school bus drivers. Further said, superintendent was then charged with embezzlement, then had his record marked, and charges dropped to make him completely unhireable in his field, making his college degrees and doctorate now useless. If you were in grade 12 and pregnant, you could not participate in the graduation ceremony. The rule didn't last long. It only affected one of my classmates who was still bitter about it at our 10-year reunion. She was a grandma by our 20-year. I grew up in the 80s. In middle school, 11 to 13 years old for those across THR Pond, we had to take showers after PE. Due to a previous few incidents involving rattles where you spin a towel around till it form a point, and then whip it or snap onto someone else, you were only given a towel immediately after the shower, and you had to leave it there. So that meant you stripped nude, walked from the lockers down this long corridor, take a shower, dry off in front of the PE teacher, leave the towel, walk all the way back. That corridor was like a wind tunnel in the winter, all because of rattles. Girls weren't allowed to wear yoga pants. You could not have facial hair at any time. Men's hair could also not be longer than shoulder length. Apparently stuff like you can eat and drink whatever you want at any time during class, and you can stand up without saying anything and go to the toilet during class are weird compared to other countries. There was no dress code at all. Also, we had a rule that if you were late, but it was only 15 minutes, it didn't count and didn't get written up. This was called an academic quarter hour. Slippers required for inside. Preferably homemade, knitted crocheted. Outside shoes kept in a special place. We all just wore slippers all day long. You were only allowed to walk one direction on each floor of the school. If your next class was even one door against traffic, you had to follow the traffic direction to an upper or lower level and circle back to your original floor where you now were walking in the correct direction. 1. No horses allowed on school. 2. No sleeping on the roof. 3. No tango dancing. 4. No Arctic monkeys shows. 5. No lions allowed to study math. If you didn't eat your lunch, you couldn't go out for recess. No blue jeans. You could wear any other color of jeans or any blue pants that were not jeans, but no blue jeans. Also no shorts for men when they were older than 15 years old. It was a Catholic school in Europe, but no obvious religious symbol could be visible on students, so the Goths kids could come to class wearing all black clothes even in long dresses or capes. Only one did, but the spikes collars, Jewelry with skulls, crosses or pentagrams, and stuff were acknowledged as religious, because Satanism, I guess I don't know, it was weird. No hats allowed or hoods up after we had a bomb threat, and they installed security cameras around the premises. I'm a fat guy. The plain shirts I wore bothered one teacher who claimed my shirt was too long, slightly past my fingertips. I had to take it off, and was forced to wear a neon yellow-green shirt, construction safety bright with crude permanent marker writing on it which read, I broke the dress code for the whole day. This shirt was way too small for me. I wore my typical shirts for the rest of high school because fuck that bald, grumpy bitch. Never had another incident, thankfully. It was ridiculous. Like, I'm fat bro. I'm wearing a shirt that covers my gut. Nothing outrageous. Chill out.